Welcome to Stardust Stereo. I'm Parker McPhinney. I'm your host. Today is the 10th of December, year 2025. We've got 15 days until the big day, Christmas, if you're celebrating Christmas. Today, I'm going to talk about the bigness of it all right now. We're in a window of super bigness. And today's talk is going to be about covering the bases by curbing your bigness, not going too overboard. It will be really easy to overreach, overeat, overdo, overshop, overgive, and lose sight of the umbrella of it all. We're in for some big weather, and we've been having big quakes. How about that? 7.6 in Japan, 7 point something in Alaska. I mean, they're getting big. And so what do we do when all this over-the-top energy is happening in the universe? Right now we have the sun in Sag. We have Venus in Sag. We have Mars in Sag. We have Juno, the asteroid of marriage and team effort, in Sag. That's 4 planets in Sagittarius. Sagittarius always thinks big. And today, in about 5 minutes, Mercury will leave Scorpio, discriminating, detective Scorpio, and enter the bigness party. So then we'll have the thinking is getting big. Now this movement of Mercury into Sag is also important because Mercury in the next couple of days will make a fabulous relationship with Pluto, and it will uplift the attitude. Because sometimes we can feel overwhelmed, and definitely with all this Sagittarius energy, if you are not plugging in to the holidays, if that's not your thing, all of this over-the-top energy can seem a bit much. And so I would suggest that you find an outlet that's worthy of moving your body, moving and shaking the body, because whenever you move the body, you have to breathe. And whenever you breathe deeper, it helps. It just helps getting that oxygen to the brain. Somehow you can lose yourself in the movement, even if you're just dancing in the living room. And then the bigness that you can feel is actually within yourself. It has nothing to do with what's going outside there, outside that front door where you live, or out there in the world. We have a quarter moon tomorrow being December 11th, 2025. And that quarter moon is sort of an adjustment. It's the cycle of the moon that kind of says cut back a little, especially when it's in Virgo. And this quarter moon is in Virgo. So it's throwing shade to all that Sag, saying, you know, you're going to get a bill. So don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Don't go shopping for the holidays without first looking at your bank account. And don't, got a lot of don'ts in this with Virgo, because Virgo's always trying to keep order to the outrageous chaos. Don't be a Scrooge either. So find the balance. Virgo's great at finding the order and system to everything. That's its strength. Making everything better by putting it in order. So tomorrow when we have this quarter moon, that's the sun and the moon in a 90-degree angle, and they are creating actually a bigger picture. The bigger picture is that later in the day tomorrow, it will form a T-square because we have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. So the main players right now is the Sag energy of abundance and happiness and goodwill and overdoing and PR and sports. People will be taking their sports very seriously. Those that follow whatever's happening right now. I don't follow sports, so I don't really know, but I think there's always sports going on. Football, that's what's going on right now. So whoever takes the football sport serious will be very serious. And that T-square of that Sag energy, the T-square, the Sag energy is 90 degrees from Saturn and Neptune, trying to reach the ideal. Something's holding me back from the ideal. I haven't figured out how to get past that obstacle. And then the moon, Virgo, going, look, you got to do what's practical, what gives order to the situation. You've got to do what adds to the harvest. Think in the ways that are earthbound and practical. That's what Virgo moon says. How are we going to improve the situation of all this abundance when it's too much? Virgo energy always says, let's keep it real. Where the Sag energy says, no, it's just one big party. It's festival time. Where's my Santa hat? And this particular quarter moon chart has the configuration of the Yod, which is the finger of God. And the finger of God says, there is magic in the air. There is magic everywhere. But, there's always a but let's keep it working in a way that has the best interest of the masses. Let's not forget the drive is to feed as many people as possible, to keep as many people happy as possible. So that means instead of giving 5 helpings to a few, we give 2 helpings to a lot. So when you're budgeting, think about that. When you're creating, if you're a maker, a hand maker of creative gifts, think about what will go the long distance for more. If you're planning a party, what foods will go the long way on that table? You know, you just don't put out the caviar for everybody. You don't say, oh, we're all having caviar. I don't know why anybody would even want to eat caviar, but people do like to eat caviar. So this is my point. You think in ways of, yeah, but good bread and cheese can go far, unless, of course, you're a vegan. My whole point is, my mantra for 2026 is less is more. And in a way, this quarter moon is saying that exact same thing. Less is more. Now, I know during the holidays, we don't really get into that mindset of less is more. But the more you can twirl that around your little pinky and make it a constant reminder, less is more, the better it'll be for you. It'll be better for your waistline. It'll be better for your bills. It'll be better for not creating clutter. And we can all agree, I am sure, that a really deep, thought out gesture is more important than 10,000 hugs. The other important configuration happening is Venus in the sky is squaring the nodes in the sky. The nodes are points of destiny. So we've got two signatures of destiny manifesting, one being the Yod, that finger of God, and the second one being Venus squaring the nodes. So keep your eyes open for signs of fate and destiny connected to love, affection, and goodwill. Look for what's right, not what's wrong. When that person helps you take your groceries out and pushes your cart back, that's a blessing. That's not just a coincidence. When that person yells, "Hey, you need some help," that's a blessing. So I challenge you every day this week until Christmas to look for the blessings in your life each and every day. Since we are talking about the bigness of all this Sag energy, make gratitude your bigness. Sagittarius energy also deals with faith, and since we are celebrating Christ's birthday, that's what Christmas is really about. This is an excellent time to recommit to whatever your belief system is. Even if you're not a Christian, whatever your belief system is, now is the time to plug into that. All this Sagittarius always deals with sports. And right now, figure skating is going on. And in figure skating, there's some incredible records being set. Elian Mullen. Elian did something magnificent at the ice skating competition. Something like 8 quads. Tremendous strength and joy and determination. And I did look up his chart. Of course I did. He is a Sagittarius, and he's banking on all that discipline and all the hard work, and he has a strong conjunction of Scorpio in his chart as well. But he just shined. It was amazing what he did. So he mastered his craft. Use him as a role model. So this young man tapped into his birthright energy in his chart, his Sagittarius and his combined Scorpio energy to master his sport. And with all this Sagittarius in the air right now, in the sky, throwing that influence down here, we can also grasp the enthusiasm, the passion, the drive with whatever project you wish to make a big splash with. It just takes the big dreams and the muscle grease and the determination. Let this young whippersnapper be a role model for you. It's truly amazing what he did. You can find it on YouTube. You spell his last name Malinin. First name Llia. He clearly set a high mark that now he'll probably have to surpass his own high mark. I think he's already broken his own record several times. And that's such a great thing for the young people to have in their generation, somebody that is so determined. And if you watch that video on YouTube of him, you can see the determination in his face. He is charged with his own inner need to do better than he's ever done. And that's the good use of Sagittarius energy, pushing oneself to be the best self. And what greater Christmas present can you give yourself than being the best you can be? So that's the thought I want to leave you with today in this bigness that we have going on in the sky. Curb the bigness with the magical energy of determination, tenacity, practical energy, keeping it real. And then all that lace and bow and beauty on the Christmas presents will have a balance. Keep what's inside real. You can have 15 planes waiting to land, but you need order in which to get them on the ground so there's not a huge explosion in the air. That same mythology is needed in your life right now. And believe in miracles. Remember, Christ did feed a whole lot of people with just a couple of fish. I'm Parker McVinney. This is Stardust Stereo. I'd like to thank you for listening. I'd like to thank my patrons. You know who you are. If you'd like to become a patron, you can do so at patreon.com/ParkerMcP. And I want to remind you, you are made of stardust. So go shine.